Hey guys, what's going on? So, I'm here in South Carolina where it's absolutely beautiful. I'm in Hilton Head with my family. It's really nice to see everyone. They're from New York, so I don't get to see them that much. And I'm going to tell part 3 of my story. Alright, so I think I left off where I went to jail. Was in treatment centers for a year, but I really wasn't committed to staying clean at that point. I wasn't done. You know, people talk about like you have to hit that bottom. I hadn't really hit my bottom yet, and it was like this ongoing process for a year of my life. I just wanted to seriously like strangle someone because they kept putting me on all these medications for different things, and it wasn't the correct medication, so I was just like falling asleep everywhere, and it just made me really, depressing. So I finally got out of like my 5th treatment center or something like that, and I went to a halfway house. Let's see, oh gosh, I got involved with this boy that I met at a meeting. And he had claimed that he had had 4 years clean. Let's just put it this way, he ended up being completely crazy. He was a narcissist and a sociopath, ended up eventually relapsing on his drug of choice, which was cocaine. Scoot forward a little here. I got addicted to, I don't know if anyone knows what kratom is, but there's this stuff called kava and kratom, and kava is like amazing to drink, and it's like a natural relaxant. So if you have anxiety, like I would definitely recommend kava. Kava is an amazing alternative to like, I would say, Xanax or something like that. Like it makes you feel almost the same. It's disgusting, but it's great. It makes you like feel really good. I got addicted to kratom, which they put in kava, or you can put it in yourself, and it comes in like this little bag. I heard it could make you feel like really good, so I was like, oh, let me try that. So I tried it, and I was instantly like at the coffee bar every day drinking kava and kratom. Got addicted to kratom, didn't know it was addicting, and then I went to Dilaudid's because they were cheaper. I ended up being an IV drug user, which I am not proud of at all, but yes, that did happen. I remember very clearly I got in a fight with someone that I was dating at the time. I just went to my friend who was already an IV drug user, and I told her, please do this to me right now, or I'm going to try to do it myself, and that's not going to end up well. And so from there on out, it was just like they say, you do it one time and that's it. That's really it. And that was it. I was doing 20 Ds a day. I think like 5 Clonopins or something like that, which is really like the worst detox you can go through. I ended up having to go to court because I still had this jail thing hanging over my head. So I had to go to court, and I needed to be off of all of these substances because we knew right by then that I was going to get probation because that's what my lawyer has said. So I told my mom at the time, I was like, I need to detox from like Klonopin. I've been taking them, and I was on 20 Ds a day and using them, IV. So, oh my gosh. When I say detox, that was the worst experience of my life. My gosh. Oh my freaking gosh. Christ on a cracker. It was so bad. So bad. I was so sick. I don't remember the first 3 days. I remember I was like tossing and turning in bed, sweating, cold everywhere, just miserable. And 3 days later, I think I tried to find my phone. I couldn't even walk. I couldn't walk for 3 weeks. So I tried to walk to my room to find it, and my mom was like so worried about me. And I'm like, I was like, I'm so sick. I ended up going to court so sick. So sick. Like, I couldn't put my makeup on, couldn't do my hair, I couldn't wear heels. I was wearing broken flip-flops to court, and like I just looked horrible. I go in the courtroom, and surprisingly enough, the judge was like, "Wow, you seem like a very intelligent young lady," and I'm like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" Like, so I couldn't wait to get out of there. It was the best thing to get out of that room. Oh my gosh, I was like holding on because I was shaking when I was trying to talk to the judge, and they asked me so many damn questions, and I just was like, oh my god, I want to get the hell out of here. My lawyer was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm sick, I'm not feeling well." So I get out, and then I was on probation. From there, I get in a horrible, horrible car accident, and this is when I say trust your gut. Your gut is always right, because I had a gut feeling before I even went down to Miami at this point in time that it wasn't a good idea. I had anxiety about it. My dog was freaking out, and then my friends were like, "We can't drive you. You have to take your own car." Yeah, I ended up going anyways. Driving behind them, the tread on my tire, there was no tread on my tire, so it was like spinning, and it was just signs all the way there telling me, "Turn around, this isn't a good idea." I didn't listen to my gut. Long story short, I ended up not even getting into the club that I originally went there to go to. I rode back with two of my friends, and we ended up getting in a serious car accident. I had no idea that I was even hurt. I was in such shock. Let me tell you, shock is an amazing thing. I was walking on a broken foot, I had a broken knee, separated clavicle, I had no idea. The cops came, no idea I was hurt. So I had someone in a truck that I didn't know who it was, drive me back to my car, and my friends had to come with me, and literally, like, I had my arm that had like the separated clavicle around him somehow. I don't know. I like felt nothing. And he carried me to my car because I was like, at this point, I was like, I can't walk for some reason. Automatically dialed my friend who was staying in the hotel that my car was at with her husband. And her husband came down and carried me upstairs, and I remember again using this arm where the bone was sticking out of my shoulder. It's crazy. It wasn't sticking out the skin, but it was sticking out my shoulder. I got surgery. But off of my foot is so big, and my knee was so swollen. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, you need to go to the hospital. You have a broken foot and a broken knee and a separated clavicle." She knew everything, and I was like, "I am not going to the hospital. I sprained my ankle, and I am fine." And I was in such denial. I was like, "I am not going. I just need to sleep." And this is like before I started feeling the pain. And I had to go to the bathroom. At this point, like, I could not stand on my foot at all whatsoever. And I see my shoulder in the bathroom, and I was like, "Is this a bone or is this just swollen?" And they didn't say anything to me. They just kind of like left it at that. And so they put me on the couch. I was like, "I'll go to the hospital when I wake up." Then 5 minutes goes by, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I need to go to the hospital," because I started like fading in and out. And I was like, "Oh no, like I have a concussion." So the ambulance came. Right when they got there, I was on the stretcher, and I was like out of it completely, just gone. And I went to the worst hospital in Miami. My mom ended up coming to the hospital. I think, yeah, she did. This was such a bad hospital. They ended up having to take me in an ambulance all the way back to where my mom lived, which was Stewart at the time, because she wanted me to be in the hospital there and near her, since I was obviously going to be, on bed rest or whatever for a while. So I go to the hospital. My best friend that passed away, her mom works at that hospital too. She was like bringing me food every day. It was funny. But so I was in the hospital, and my friend was right. I had a broken foot, broken knee, separated clavicle. They let me go home like a couple days later, but I was in a wheelchair and on bed rest for 3 months. And I got shoulder surgery. And let me tell you, that was something. Oh my gosh, I remember like screaming after the surgery, like, oh, it hurts. It was such a bad thing. So, anyways, after that happened, I had a spiritual awakening, like a real spiritual awakening. It was amazing, the most amazing 3 months of my entire life. I had an out-of-body experience the first night that I was at my mom's house, and I literally got told by source that I have like one more chance, and my car accident happened for a reason, and that I have a gift and I need to use it to help others. And I was like, okay. So then I start to get into like meditation and all of this stuff, which I was into when I was younger. So I started doing that again and listening to like binaural beats, and I started remembering my dreams more and really getting into seeing auras, because I didn't really know that I was seeing auras all this time that I had been seeing light around people. I had no idea that that's what I was seeing. And I also didn't know that I had all these amazing, powerful gifts. And we started going to like meditation groups. My mom would go, we would go like in the wheelchair in the room and be like, wow, you're so positive, you're so amazing, like you're glowing. I had someone give me a blessing, which is, it's called the Diksha, and in India it's like the #1 thing that awakens people. I had this lady that we automatically had this connection. It was kind of crazy. And she gave me a blessing, and she was like, I have messages for you. And I was like, really? It's like, that's interesting. So she sat me down, she's like, you have a gift and you need to use it to help others. And I was like, that's so funny, because that was just my out-of-body experience together. And she was like, yeah, and your dog is here to help you heal. And that's like really what my dog has done, is help me heal. Like, I healed her when I first got her, and then she's healed me. And she told me what else. She's like, your character's in the upper for a reason. She told me the exact same things that I got told in my out-of-body experience. She told me, you know, like, you're a healer and all this stuff. And I was like, this makes so much sense. Because the next lady, because I got Reiki done, and this lady told me that I had a gift and using it to help others, and that I was an indigo child, an empath. And I started researching all of this stuff, and I was like, wow, that makes so much sense, because an indigo child feels really, you know, left out and kind of alone as a child, and is here to heal and help people. And an empath is someone who feels the energy of everyone else around them, or everything else around them, because everything is energy. Made so much sense, because I remember dropping out of high school even because it was too much for me, and it was always because I guess I could feel all the energy around me, and I didn't know what it was at that time. So everything made so much sense, and everything was synchronicity during these 3 months, which still, my life is synchronicity today. But during those 3 months, it was just so intense, because I was awakening, and it was beautiful. Everything was so beautiful. I was so euphoric for these 3 months. So I ended up kept getting told the same things over and over, and I got really into meditation. I started meditating like all day, every day, because I couldn't do much of anything else, but I really enjoyed it. Like, it became a part of me. It became the part of me that was missing, you know, my whole life. So when I was doing drugs and like looking for myself, and basically this like was what I needed to find myself. So it ended up being like a great thing that I didn't trust my gut before the car accident, because it was a phenomenal experience at some wonderful people. I ended up getting changed to actually give Dikshas, and I can give Golden Orb Dikshas, which was another training, and it's very powerful, and I just love doing it, everyone always says, like, you know, they can feel it so strongly when I do it, and I just have this energy about me that people can, like, feel, and I always get told I'm glowing and things like that. So, yeah, so I became this, like, healer for people. Not even, it was just like it kind of manifested from there because I was told it, and, you know, I finally had figured everything out. So from then on, when I finally went home after the car accident, I was just very euphoric, kept getting these crazy signs that I can do another video on the signs that I get. Like, they're just crazy. It's like you wouldn't even believe me if I told you the signs. But I just get these really intense signs, and I get just, they're really meaningful, really just crazy. Like, they're just not normal. For a normal person, they'd be like, what the hell? But for me, I was like, oh shit, you know, it's a sign. Like, I get so excited for them. And I always ask every day for my angels and spirit guides to give me signs, let me know that they're with me. I always, you know, thank them for what they do for me, and it's crazy because once you have an out-of-body experience and you know that, it's like I just understood the universe and just understood that it's a multi-dimensional universe and we're multi-dimensional beings, and we are here on this training ground for the time being to expand our consciousness. And then we go back up to, you know, when you die or have a shift of consciousness is really what it is, because it's just your physical aspect of the body dying. You then go on, you can either be one source if you really, like, know things. Like, I mean, I know this is my last time here, I'm a very old soul, and I just want to go home and be one source. Other people can go to other dimensions. It just depends how much you've expanded your consciousness. So, I'll get back into my story. I'm going a little bit into the spirituality aspect of it. But, so then I had, then another big thing that I had, I also got told during this time period that I had one more chance. The one more chance, I did relapse, and I started using again, here and there, because I was on probation, so I would start using every so often. And that led to endocarditis, which is an infection in your bloodstream. It spreads to your heart, and it can kill you if you don't get to it in time. So I was I got very ill, and I didn't know what was wrong with me. But after a couple of days, I was moaning and literally couldn't talk. And my dad called 911 and went to the hospital. And when they told me it was my heart, like, I was just in shock. Like, I had no words, nothing. I was also so sick, so, like, I really didn't know what to do at that point. So they were, like, doing all these tests. They were just cutting open my back, draining fluid. It was insane. But I stayed positive throughout it all. I knew I was going to be okay. I got open heart surgery, and they repaired my tricuspid valve. And after that happened, I was in the hospital for 3 months. And then when I did go home, it took a really long time for me to recover. Well, I'm still recovering because I had 2 more open heart surgeries after that. Ended up getting the infection back, not even 5 months later, and this time was just from, who knows why it came back. But I went to the hospital, and I went to a different hospital this time, which is actually, like, known for the best heart surgery in the United States, I think. And they ended up having to replace my tricuspid valve, and they put in a pig valve, I think, and I also got a pacemaker. So I had 1 open heart surgery for them to replace the valve, and then they had to go back in the next day because I had a blood clot sitting on my lung that was preventing me from breathing. So they had to go back and remove the blood clot, and oh my gosh, that was pain. Holy shit! So much pain. Like, I do not believe in pain, but that was painful. I'm one of those people that nothing hurts me. Like, I can get shots, I can get tattoos, like all that stuff, but this was pain because they're sawing open your chest, like your bone, you know what I mean? So obviously I didn't only get that one chance, but I got this second opportunity because I was told I had one more chance, so I actually had 2 more chances, well 3, but so then I was in the hospital for 3 months that time as well because they have to give you antibiotics to kill the infection completely after they do the surgery. So I was there and I recovered like extremely quickly considering, and they had me on, you know, like an extreme amount of painkillers because they were like, this girl like does not, like nothing affects her, you know, nothing takes away her pain. It's because I'm an addict and I have like a built up tolerance. Even not being on drugs at the time, still my tolerance is way higher than like a normal person's would be. So ended up that they had to like double me up on everything, and I was in ICU for 6 days. So when I came out of ICU, I actually detoxed because of how much stuff they had me on. And immediately I was like, okay, drop me down to Percocet from Dilaudid because I don't want to be on this stuff again, because I was just getting sick. It's like my body was just wanting more and more, and I was just getting sicker and sicker. So they dropped me down Percocet, and then eventually when I was like feeling a little bit better, I mean I'm still in pain today, but I got on Tramadol and then Dilaudid when needed. So I wasn't Tramadol, you don't get the withdrawal symptoms. So they moved me like on 3 floors because I was going to be there for 3 months, and I seriously met like all the staff, and I was just like so inspiring to people. I ended up like letting the lady know that she was a light worker, and she was like so thankful because she had been wondering why she could still sense like the people that die in the hospital. It was crazy. But that's when I ended up making this video when I was in the hospital, and I'll actually link that in somewhere so you can watch that. It's very inspiring. And then I read one thing while I was in the hospital, and it said, you know, the good nowadays is like Teflon and the bad is like Velcro. And it's so true, you guys. Like, the bad always, it's like when you're in a relationship or a friendship or anything, like one bad thing happens and it like ruins relationships of any sort or anything in general. And good things happen, and it's like we forget all of the good things. So that actually hit me really hard, and I was like, that's so true. Why don't we always hold on to the good? So I started holding on to that good, like in the morning or the daytime, walking outside and seeing beautiful landscape or nature or whatever you want to call it. And I would just hold on to that feeling of like, wow, it's so beautiful, you know, instead of the negative pain and all that shit I was going through. So that kind of rewired my brain a little bit, and I just like, I knew all of the things to do at this point. I kept myself busy for 3 months I was in there, and I, you know, wrote, I just did everything I loved doing, and really there wasn't enough time in the day, honestly. I meditated, I did so much in there, and I made friends with everyone. I had like so many friends in that hospital. And when I left the hospital, I went back and I gave them all like flowers and a card from each floor I was on. And it was just amazing. And to think that I've been through that much for my age, like a 30-year-old, is so amazing. And all of it has made me so, so very strong. And there's also more I've been through, but that's the main points of my story. So I'm going to leave it at that. And since then, I've been doing wonderful. and I've been, getting along with my parents and just having just a grand old time, just sticking with my writing and my, I can't really do right now. I'm waiting for SSI, so the life coaching and everything I can't really do, which is what I love. And so that's why I'm saying, if anyone has any questions about spirituality, please feel free to ask me, because that's what I love to do, is help people. And I'm going to start doing a topic each week, either way, whether I get topics listed or not, because it's just what I love to do, and I know I can help many, many people this way that are struggling or just want to know more about, spirituality or just the universe in general. So, that being said, I'm going to end part 3 there. It's pretty long. But yeah, this is the exciting part of my whole story. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel. I promise it will be so exciting from now on. And hit the like button, give this video a thumbs up. Yeah, that's all. Peace and love, guys. Love you all.